Hey everybody, it's the year's 1999 coming back at you with another video. Today I thought I would just make a good old-fashioned top 10 list. So let's take a look at my favorite cantrips for D&D 5th edition. Number 10, Poison Spray. You extend your hand towards a creature you can see within range and project a puff of noxious gas from your palm. The creature must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 poison damage. So yeah, there are a lot of weapon cantrips that can work, instead of like a sword or an axe or something. This is the strongest of those because, it does 1d12 damage. There's not really much else to say about it though. It's a good weapon, but if you want a weapon cantrip that you can have a little more fun with, then check out number 9, Shocking Grasp. Lightning springs from your hand to deliver a shock to a creature you try to touch. Make a melee spell attack against the target. You have advantage on the attack roll if the target is wearing armor made out of metal. On a hit, the target must take 1d8 lightning damage, and it can't use reactions until the start of its next turn. So this cantrip is basically a finger stun gun. What makes this one special is the provision that the target can't take any reactions. This means that you can run up, use it, and then run away without provoking an attack of opportunity. Getting hit by this would be a real shock. Number 8, Dancing Lights. You create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. You can also combine them to make one glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size. Whichever form you choose, each light sheds dim light in a 10-foot radius. This cantrip could of course be used to make a light source, but it could also be used to distract an opponent. You could use it to guide someone along. You could also use light signals to communicate to someone who's far away. Number 7. Blade Ward. Until the end of your next turn, you have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage dealt by weapons. This one is self-explanatory. You only have to take half damage from weapon attacks. Perhaps you could use Dancing Lights to get the attention of an orc with a large axe, and then ward yourself against his attack. Okay, number 6, Guidance. You touch one willing creature. Once before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to one ability check of its choice. It can roll the die before or after making the ability check. Just imagine this. Before a skill check, you can cast this spell on everyone in the party. Need to leave a gorge, trick a merchant, find the right book on a shelf? Well then you can apply the extra d4 to any check. If you want, you can do this for every skill check. Sometimes we all just need a little guidance.
The shell knows all!
Oh, magic conch shell, what do we need to do to get out of the kelp forest?
Nothing.
The shell has spoken!
Number 5, Mending. This spell repairs a single break or tear in an object that you touch. As long as the break is no larger than 1 foot in any dimension, you mend it, leaving no trace of the former damage. So anytime that you break a tool, a weapon, a piece of armor, or really any item, you can fix it. I mean, if you wanted to, you could rip a page out of a book to keep it safe, and then repair it once you have it where you need it to be. Number 4, Spare the Dying. You touch a living creature that has 0 hit points, the creature becomes stable. You're deep in a dungeon, having just defeated a large monster. Took down 2 of the party members. They're alive, but just barely. With this cantrip, you don't have to worry about them possibly messing up their saving throws.
Breathe, darn you!
Number 3, Mage Hand. A spectral floating hand appears at a point you choose within range. You can use your action to control the hand and can move it up to 30 feet each time you use it. Now, the hand can't attack or activate magic objects, but it can carry things up to 10 pounds. It's a magic hand that you can use to manipulate objects. Now, the 10-pound rule might seem pretty limiting, but there's still plenty of things you can do with that. You could grab a sword, open a door, give someone a shove, or you could, from a distance, grab a piece of chalk and start writing on a wall to freak people out if that's what you want to, or tap someone on the shoulder to get their attention. It's a fun spell to play with. Okay, now, number 2, message. You point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. Only the target can hear the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. This is just awesome. A psychic message that you can use to communicate secretly with someone. If it's too loud to hear each other or you don't want someone else to know what you're saying, use this cantrip. If one person's speaking to a crowd, another person can use the cantrip to pass on the information he needs to say. You could use the spell on someone else so you can talk to them without them seeing you, or influence someone as a literal voice in their head. Although, I can actually do this. Did you hear that silent message? Well, for the rest of you, there's a relevant SpongeBob clip I'm going to play here.
Pat the sponge. Pat the sponge. Testing. Testing. Testing, 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 testing. Testing! Ah!
Yep, 3 SpongeBob clips in 1 episode. You're welcome. Number 1. Well, we've made it this far without saying it. You probably know what it is. Prestidigitation. This spell has a lot of effects. With it, you can create an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect, such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd color. Instantaneously light or put out a candle, torch, or small campfire. Instantaneously clean or soil an object. Chill, warm, or flavor some non-living material. Make a color or small mark or symbol appear on an object or a surface. And you can have a magical trinket appear or some type of illusory image that can fit within your hand and will last until the end of your next turn. What's also cool is that for the duration-based effects, you can have up to 3 of them at a play at a time if you so want. And it's like the makers of D&D had a bunch of smaller ideas that didn't really justify being full cantrips, so they just threw them together to make it this behemoth. Here's some fun you could have with it. Let's say you want to try to poison someone, but they're going to recognize the flavor of the poison. Just make the food taste normal. Or you could put out a guard's torch when you're trying to sneak through an area while making a puff of wind so it seems like the flame just blew out. You could perhaps make some easy money as a cleaning service. Or you could pull off some interesting cons, such as, trick someone into thinking you've got a magical quill to sell them. That doesn't really need any ink, but it's actually just a normal quill. You tell the mark that in order to get to work, all you have to do is trace what you're trying to write while saying it out loud. And you demonstrate this on a regular piece of paper, and you cast Prestidigitation to make the words appear. Even better, you could have a partner casting the spell from a distance, so that way they don't see you trying to cast a spell. Yeah, seriously, Prestidigitation, it's definitely worth having in your arsenal. There's just so many great applications for it. Really is a great cantrip. Well, at least that's my list anyway. What are your favorite cantrips? Tell me down in the comments. Also, let me know if you have any other video ideas that you'd like me to cover. I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a great day, and God bless.